Okay, welcome, Luis. Thank you for being here. We start our third web conference. Vamos a iniciar. And dun, dun. Here. Let's go to English that works for level 4. And it took me out. Okay, let's enter again. So here we are again, English that works for. Let's go to contenido del curso, proyecto, activity 3, materials. The main material is called How Things Happen. We have the multimedia. Please go to the multimedia for pronunciations, practice, for listening, for practicing your listening. Let's go to this material. Here we're going to check the PDF version. And for today we have this subject, how things happen. We are going to work on past simple and past simple continuous. Pasado simple continuous. They use this form that is, we used to, how to use used to. Time words in narrative always as quickly as possible, immediately, eventually, later, soon, then, until, and, at the age of. Vamos a ver esas frases, usamos esas palabras, frases, realmente son frases temporales. Vamos a mirar el uso de cada una de ellas. And vocabulary related to life changes. Entonces, bueno, este vocabulario ustedes lo pueden revisar. Acá yo les voy a explicar básicamente como las primeras tres que son más... el otro es vocabulario, o sea, es cuestión de practicarlo, de revisarlo, memorizarlo. Entonces son listas que ustedes pueden ir haciendo o guardando o practicando, ¿sí? Entonces ahí como que lo importante son como estos tres temas, sobre todo los dos primeros, para que ustedes puedan hacer las actividades. Remember that you also have an additional material with more grammar exercises. And here we have the evidence. For this activity, learning activity 3, we are going to work on this evidence, these pieces of evidence. What was happening when it happened, all in the past, and let's find words. That's the first one. And the interactive activity and the restaurant. That's number 2. So remember that what was happening when it happened, all in the past, and let's find words. For that activity, you can download the file here and send it through here. And the score for the interactive evidence. Don't forget that today is May the 31st. So we are here ending learning activity 2, and preparing everything to start this learning activity 3. ¿Cierto? Entonces vea que ya llegamos como a la mitad del curso. De escribir en este Learning Activity 3, the main goal is describir acontecimientos pasados haciendo uso de la estructura gramatical y vocabulario requeridos. Y para poder alcanzar este objetivo de aprendizaje, este resultado de aprendizaje, pues les voy a explicar lo que vamos a hacer, los temas, ¿cierto? Okay, Luis, thank you. Yes, I will. I will continue to speak in English. But the problem is that most of the students, even as I told you last class, even if you are in level 3, 4, 5, you don't have the ability to understand. So that's why I have to, in most cases, to speak in both languages, in English and in Spanish. I try to do the whole class in English 5. For instance, we just finished the last web conference, the third word conference for that. And the last class, the second one was all in English, I remember. So if you want to practice, I will put you to do some exercises, speaking exercises in this class. But I will have to explain in both languages for all the people in the course. Because if they're not here, I imagine that maybe it's true, maybe not, but as a teacher, I have to keep that in mind. So for the video, they will watch the video and they need to understand. So I hope you understand this, Luis. Okay, so let's go to the material. We were here in the material, how things happen. So let's begin, past simple and past continuous. Vamos a iniciar, past simple, short action. If used together when interrupting the longer action. Okay, here I want to explain. Wait a minute. Let's go to the material first. So in this part, we are going to explain, remember, because you already know that. Recuerden que en esta parte, pues ustedes ya saben eso, pasado simple. But we are going to learn how to use past simple and past simple continuous. ¿Cierto? Vamos a usarlos juntos. Yesterday at the park, we are here we have an example. Some examples. A man talked on the phone. Some children played in the sandbox. And this picture is from a previous English level, ¿cierto? Recuerden que este ejemplo viene de un material, pues de un nivel previo, creo que es en el nivel 3, en el que ustedes ven el pasado simple. Incluso, sí, nivel 3. Tenemos algunos ejemplos. So remember, past simple. You're talking about past action, a short action. Están hablando de algo que pasó, algo simple, corto, ¿cierto? Corto en el sentido de que finalizó. Entonces, a man talked on the phone at the park yesterday. Yo digo, en el parque ayer, este señor habló por teléfono. Some children played in the sandbox. Por acá está the sandbox. A couple read a book. And very important, all verbs are in their past form. Todos los verbos están en pasado, por supuesto, porque estamos hablando de pasado simple. Recuerden que ese pasado simple, remember that simple past, you usually use it with time expression like yesterday, like last night, last evening, last month, ¿cierto? Siempre lo usamos como con una expresión temporal, generalmente. En este caso, la expresión para todos es yesterday. You should remember that the simple past tense is used to talk about activities that began and ended in the past. There is another, okay. Remember that it is a short action and a finished action. So we are here, the past, the past, the past. This is the past simple. It ended. And we are now the present. And then the future. Okay, that's the simple past. Subject, verb in past, and complement. I studied English at Sena. We use did as an auxiliary. For the affirmative, we don't use did. We use did as an auxiliary in the negative and interrogative. ¿Recuerdan? Usamos el auxiliar did. I didn't study English at Sena. Did you study English at Sena? Yes, I did. Remember that in past simple, we have, of course, regular and irregular verbs. The regular verbs end with ed. We add dad to form the past. Here's some examples: wash, wash, cool, cool, cook, cooked, open, open, close, close, watch, watched, talk, talked, paint, painted. Remember also that there is a verb list that is called irregular verb list. Hay una lista de irregulares. Entonces, ¿cómo los diferenciamos? Practicándolos. ¿Cómo sabemos si es una pregunta frecuente? Teacher, how do I know if the verb is regular or irregular? Okay, you have to practice and learn by practicing. We have the rules. These rules, you know, these rules from level 0. Estas son unas reglas ortográficas que conocen desde el nivel 0. And remember that when we have a word which ends in E, we don't need to add the E, additional E, just the D. When it ends in O, you added the ED. We also have the Y, and that is called a semi-vowel or a semi-consonant. We usually say a semi-vowel. Sometimes it is used as a vowel and sometimes as a consonant. Lo mismo que en español. Tenemos la Y de Juliet. Hay Juliet que se escriben con Y o de Yamile. ¿Sí? Tenemos la I de Lady. ¿Sí? Magali. The same in English. When it is a vowel, you change the vowel, cambian la I, and add ed. When it is a consonant, add ed. Remember also the consonant vowel consonant. You double the last consonant. With an exception, regretted, another exception. Listen. Here we have a regular verb list, a short one. And remember to go to the interactive material. Eso fue como un pequeño review de algo que ustedes ya conocen. So let's begin with past continuous. Read the following conversation between a man and a woman. What were you doing last night? I called you, but you didn't answer. I was watching a movie when my boss called me. We talked over an hour, sorry. Look, we use the past continuous besides the past simple. Past continuous, past simple, past simple. Generalmente usamos el pasado continuo junto al pasado simple. If I say, okay, I can ask, what were you doing last night? And let's say that's a full sentence. ¿Cierto? Podríamos decir, si yo te pregunto, si yo les pregunto, ¿qué estaban haciendo ustedes anoche? Podría sonar como una oración completa. Sin embargo, ahí hay como algo que falta, ¿cierto? Falta un contexto. ¿En qué momento? O sea, que estaba así, como así, ¿qué estaba haciendo yo anoche? ¿Cuándo? ¿Qué? ¿Cierto? O sea, ¿cuál es la pregunta? No es totalmente clara. Entonces, no es una oración completa. La completo cuando introduzco el pasado simple. Ah, okay. I called you last night. Ah, yeah, okay. When you called me, I was reading a book. I was out. I went out having dinner with my family and I left my phone at home. Or do you understand? Como que tiene sentido la pregunta cuando la contextualizo en un punto específico. ¿Qué estabas haciendo que te llamé y no contestaste? I'm sorry. I was watching a movie. I was waiting for your call. Estaba viendo la película, estaba esperando que me llamaras, pero ¿qué pasó? My boss called me and we talked over an hour. ¿Sí? As you can see in the situation, they are referring to some actions that took place in the past. They are using expression in past continuous. What were you doing last night? I was watching a movie. And some in simple past. I called you last night. My boss called me. We talked over an hour. When is past continuous use? The past continuous is used in the following cases to describe a past action over a period of time. I was playing the guitar last night. Es el pasado continuo, lo mismo que el presente. ¿Cómo sería la estructura? ¿Cómo lo podríamos esquematizar? Así. Un pasado que inició, continuó. Finalizó, estamos en el presente. Y generalmente sobre esta acción, let me put it like this, the other way. An action, and we have here a small action. Así se vería la interacción de los dos. Tenemos una acción que está continuada en el pasado y que es interrumpida por una acción específica. Cuando utilizamos los dos. Acá, to describe a past action over a period of time, lo mismo que el presente, ¿cierto? Escribimos una acción prolongada. What were you doing yesterday evening? I was having dinner with my wife. We also use it to describe that what someone was doing at a specific point in time. Realmente no se usa para un punto específico en el tiempo, porque ese punto específico en el tiempo es el pasado simple. Pero él puede decir, ¿qué estabas haciendo anoche? Estaba cenando con mi esposa. Pero era lo que les decía ahorita, como que esta conversación no está completa, debe tener como un contexto. Y lo que me lo contextualiza es cuando yo los pongo los dos juntos, los dos tiempos. Quiero que esto les quede claro. To describe an action in progress that was interrupted by other action in the past, you should use the word when before the simple past. Y este es el que más usamos. Este sentido, que es el que ya les he estado explicando, ¿cierto? There is a past action in progress and then a simple action. This action interrupted the longer action. He was making dinner when the telephone rang. He was making dinner when the telephone rang, and all that is past. The action started, action interrupted. When two actions are taking place at the same time in the past, you should use the word while between the two actions. I was talking on the phone while I was driving. You were doing both activities at the same time. I was talking on the phone while I was driving, which is very dangerous. What he did. I was talking on the phone while I was driving. Now here the presentation. Do you have questions until so long? Diana, welcome. ¿Tienen preguntas hasta ahora? If use together when interrupted the longer action. I was walking when he shouted at me. These are, I'm sorry. These are examples for the use of when and the use of while when using the simple past and the past continuous. Estos son ejemplos y explicaciones también cuando utilizamos estos dos que ya se introdujo en el material principal, ¿cierto? Cuando usamos when y cuando usamos while, cuando ponemos a los dos la acción simple y la acción prolongada. Entonces tenemos acá. If used together when interrupted the longer action. I was walking when he shouted at me. Los usamos juntos, ¿cierto? Y este when me hace referencia a lo que está interrumpiendo la acción prolongada. I was walking, es la acción prolongada, past continuous, when he shouted at me. Entonces este when está introduciendo esa interrupción de la acción prolongada con el pasado simple. Can you see? Was walking, he shouted. She was folding the papers when she cut her finger. They were washing the car when the cat jumped on it. Longer action, interrupted action. When the doorbell rang, we were watching a horror movie. When she fell, her husband was holding their baby. ¿Se entiende? ¿Entienden hasta acá? Entonces utilizo when cuando voy a referir y la uso con el pasado simple, o sea, con la acción que está interrumpiendo la acción prolongada. Recuerden que ese pasado continuo como es un pasado continuo, es un tiempo continuo, Era lo que venía acá, pero yo me quise ir para allá. The continuous progressive tenses, they use the verb to be as an auxiliary, siempre, siempre, always. Siempre el auxiliar de los tiempos continuos es el verbo to be. Como estamos hablando de past continuous, acá. Vamos a utilizar el verbo to be en pasado. Was, were, auxiliary. Remember, we use was with I, she, he, it. And we use were for the other ones, for you, for they, for, yes, for you and they. And we. And we use the auxiliaries, as I told you before, como les dije antes, siempre utilizamos los auxiliares para negar y para preguntar. So we use was, wasn't, were, weren't, and for making question, interrogative form. Acá tenemos la estructura. I wasn't having dinner. You weren't washing the dishes. He wasn't laughing all the time. She wasn't writing her report. It wasn't working perfectly. We weren't waiting for her and they weren't painting a piece of art. Acá están en forma negativa, arriba están en forma afirmativa. Y la interrogativa, iniciamos con el verbo to be. Y por supuesto, como es another rule for this continuous, is that the main verb is in ing form. Que era lo que yo les trataba de explicar en la sí fue con ustedes, sí, a ver. En la actividad anterior, Learning Activity 2, que era el ing, que nosotros decimos gerundio, acá no es gerundio, sino que es presente participio. Acá el verbo con ing no es un gerundio, sino un presente participio. Un participio presente. ¿Sí? Entonces, was I saying anything? Was I saying anything wrong? Generalmente estas son preguntas retóricas. Were you having dinner with your family? Esta no es retórica, cuando yo me pregunto a mí misma, sí. ¿Sí? Were we wearing the right person? Yes, you were. Bueno, acá empezamos con la otra. Entonces, let's go back to this. Now, let's see the use of while. If used together, while to show something was happening at the time of speaking. So while is different from when, because while here we use it with the longer action. He shouted at me while I was walking. Do you remember the last one? I was walking. I am sorry. I was walking when he shouted at me. So this when refers to the past simple. And here is different. He shouted at me while I was walking. See the difference? So this is something I wanted to explain to you. Esto es algo que realmente quería que como que vieran, porque lo usan de manera indistinta en en el taller generalmente lo hacen con ayudas que no les, con las cuales no aprenden. Y les queda mal esa parte, a casi todos. While she was folding, okay, I don't like this example. The cat jumped on the car while they were washing it. And the same, you can change the position, remember. And when you change the position, you put the comma. The cat jumped on the car while they were washing it. While we were watching a horror movie, the doorbell rang. Someone grabbed my phone while I was talking to my mom. While I was talking to my mom, someone grabbed my phone, the same. And here we have the two examples, as I said, put them here with while and when. I was talking to my mom when someone grabbed my phone. When someone grabbed my phone, I was talking to my mom. Here are more examples. For you. Okay. However, here we have more examples with while and when. Let's go back to the next. Do you have questions? ¿Preguntas? So far? Luis, Diana, ¿preguntas hasta ahora? All okay, says Luis. What about Diana? Okay, let's continue with used to. We use used to. Used to is a past expression. It's expression we use for the past, for past habits. Entonces ese used to lo usamos para hablar de hábitos en el pasado. Solía. Solía ser. Es lo que traduce ese used to. Okay, look at the examples about Alex's music career. Alex used to play the piano for the symphonic orchestra. That was in the past, when he was a child. Now in the present, now he plays the drums in a rock band. Yo pondría ahí el artículo. This situation shows that Alex played the piano for some time in the past, but not anymore. In the present, he plays the drums. Uses of used to. Very simple, ¿cierto? Entonces, solía hacer. Como tengo el used to, ¿cómo iría el verbo? El verbo A, pues, normal en infinitivo. I used to drink tea. I used to drink coffee. I don't do it anymore. I used to play the piano. I used to play the guitar. I used to play with my friends I used to play soccer, for instance. He used to drink, acá tenemos algunos ejemplos. The structure used to refer to habits, states, or repeated actions that happened in the past, but no longer happens in the present. For example, habits, he used to drink 5 cups of coffee every day. Now he drinks just 1. States, Marilyn used to be very shy when she was 18. She is an outgoing person now. She's different. She used to be shy. Now she is an outgoing person. Repeated actions. I used to eat a hamburger at least twice a week. I'm on a diet now, so I don't have any. Used to is also chosen. To talk about something that was true in the past, but it is not true in the present. Look at the following examples. People used to think that the earth was flat. Now we know it is round. People used to smoke in the airplanes. It is forbidden now. Very simple. Here we have the third part of the material, time, words in narrative. Always ask as quickly as possible, immediately, eventually, later, soon, then, until, and at the age of. And the uses of each one of them. Always, remember we use always in present simple. ¿Cierto? Lo usamos en presente simple to say that something happens on all occasions. The sun always rises in the west. Remember also that we put it usually between the subject and the verb siempre. Bueno, no, siempre no. Usualmente lo ponemos entre el verbo y el sujeto. Cuando no, cuando no va ahí, cuando es el verbo to be. Cuando es el verbo to be, no separamos el verbo del sujeto. Por ejemplo, he's always angry. ¿Cierto? Yo no digo, he always is, he's always. He's always happy. Lo pongo después. ¿Sí? To say that something happened throughout a long time in the past. For example, she always wanted to be a senior. She always wanted. En este caso, ¿cierto? Lo usamos como en ese deseo, pensamiento que siempre era recurrente en ella. To say that something is or was repeatedly an annoying. This is a very common use. The kids were always screaming and running around the room. Cuando los grandes hacen quedar mal a los adolescentes. Cuando eran niños. No te imaginas, lloraba todo el tiempo. The kids were always screaming. He's always getting late to work. This is something that is annoying, you know, like the same with the kids and the screaming. Note, use always. Okay, I already explained that. Always is hardly found at the beginning of a sentence except with orders. Always wash your hands before eating. Use of as. We use as. You know this from, I believe it's English That Works too. When we learn about comparative, we use as to express equality or similarity. The baby was dressed as a clown. Also, to talk about the function or role of someone or something. I work as a waiter in a 5-star hotel. She worked as a flight attendant for 3 years. The table had candles as decoration. We use as to link a result with a cause. For example, as I was late for the meeting, I took a taxi. We use as when one event happened while another was in progress. For example, I saw Richard as I was running in the park. And here you find some more examples, some more uses of as in all of them. The use of as quickly as possible. That is something that you need to do, you know, like urgent, immediately. We need to fix the roof as quickly as possible. Look at the roof. Immediately, same, he really needs to extinguish that fire immediately. That means now. muy parecido en español. Algunos que son como muy fáciles. Eventually, ese también lo usamos mucho. We use eventually to indicate that something finally happened after a long time or before or wait. I waited for 2 years for this job, for this job offer, and eventually they hired me. Look, he's so happy. Later, también lo sabemos usar, ¿cierto? Near future, subsequently action. Soon, este también lo conocemos. It's used to express actions that will happen or happen in or after a short time. Mom will be home soon after 10 minutes. She's home. Mom will be home soon. Erica soon arrived and we went to the party. It means Erica didn't take too much time to arrive. She was punctual. Then, este then también lo usamos mucho. Creo que este también ya se había explicado en nivel 2. We use then in the following situations to express an event at a certain time in the past. I want to go to Germany. I want to stay in Colombia. So I wanted to work in Germany, but then my husband wanted to stay in Colombia. To express an action that will take place after another event. For example, let me finish this report and then we can go. This is the more common use, ¿cierto? Este es el que ya habían aprendido desde nivel 1. Yo creo que desde nivel 0 se explica. Y es como poner una acción después de otra. Acá sí tiene como un sentido de contraste y como de que... pero luego, pero luego mi esposa, ¿cierto? O mi esposo quería permanecer en Colombia. To add some information about something, this is the newest car, then it is the most expensive. Como por lo tanto, ¿cierto? Como consecuencia también. To express a result, similar al anterior. I needed to save time, then I traveled by plane. Until, también ya saben cómo utilizarlo. Y es hasta esta hora, ¿cierto? Up to the event. We use until as a conjunction to express an event up to event mentioned. For example, I was reading until you called me. Dejé de leer porque me llamaste, ¿cierto? O sea, hasta ese momento leí. We use until as a preposition to express an event up to the point in time mentioned. We have acá una acción y otra acción y acá ya estamos hablando de la acción y la hora. ¿Sí? We have to work until 9 p.m. Estamos hablando de un punto en el tiempo. Until is used to express distance. You should walk until the end of the corner and then turn left. También en español, ¿cierto? Debe caminar hasta, trabajo hasta, leí hasta que me llamaste. At the age of, we use this expression to express events that took place at a specific age. At the age of 60, he wrote a novel. And in their last part, as I told you before, you find the vocabulary related to the unit. Van a encontrar acá, en este caso, likely changes. Y recuerden ir a la contextualización. So let's go to the activities. We said that the pieces of evidence are what was happening when it happened, all in the past, and let's find words, and the interactive activity. Here's some exercises. If we have time, we do some exercises for Luis, who is eager to practice. And let's see the activity. Vamos a mirar lo que deben hacer en la actividad. Mientras la actividad abre, a ver si... Bueno, ya abrió. All in the past. For this part of the evidence, you will have to complete suggested answers with your own experiences in order to answer the questions. Acá tenemos 5 preguntas y acá vamos a usar lo que aprendimos con used to. What did you used to do on vacation? Ah, bueno, very important. I didn't explain that to you. Siempre lo usamos generalmente. Siempre no. Lo usamos en afirmativo y en negativo. I used to play the piano, como en el caso del chico. Y yo puedo negarlo, como es pasado, pues utilizo el auxiliar. I didn't used to be late. No solía llegar tarde cuando era una niña, when I was a child. O no llegaba tarde a la casa, o no me quedaba por fuera jugando. ¿Sí? Entonces, bueno, eso es algo que no explicamos. Lo utilizo en la forma afirmativa, en la forma negativa, entonces utilizamos el auxiliar y ponemos use sin la D, porque esta es la forma del pasado, porque estamos hablando de hábitos pasados. Cuando utilizamos el auxiliar, no usamos el ed, recuerden. Y use es un verbo regular, por eso va con D. Termina en E, va con D, ¿cierto? Lo que estaba al inicio. Entonces, en esta primera parte van a hacer eso, van a contestar esas 5 preguntas. En la segunda parte tenemos, now you are going to see some pictures that show an unfortunate incident that happened to Jennifer a few years ago while she was driving home after work. See what happened to her and write it down. Use past simple and past continuous to narrate the events. Podemos usar también las preposiciones que acabamos de ver. Sería espectacular. Pudieran hacer